Hello there. How are you?
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to, we're going to call it the panel, but we've changed our mind because we're going to talk about something else. But welcome anyway. It is still your regular Wednesday slot. And I'm going to get interviewed by Rochelle. Hello, Rochelle.
Hello. I love interviewing you because he's full of so many surprises. Like, in fact, even yesterday, what did you drop? So, we talked
Oh,
about it
yeah.
last time doing the LinkedIn Visibility Challenge, and I was asking people for some interesting facts about themselves. And what was it that you said?
I said I used to be an actor at the West Yorkshire Playhouse in Leeds.
Like,
Yeah.
how did I not know that? I've interviewed you so many times. We've had so many conversations, and you're just like, oh yeah, I just used to be an actor.
But can I just say this though? Hi, the female landlord. I can see you on Instagram. Hi. Yeah, but here's the thing though. What people don't realize is the older you get, you have so many experiences. It's not. I think if I was like 20 years younger, it'd be different. But
Yeah.
I'm not. So you go through so many phases in life, and it's not that they're negligible. It's just that life just is. You know what I mean? So yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
So yeah. So there are lots of stories, and
Yeah.
I'm
I like the
excited.
time when you climbed Kilimanjaro.
I did. I came to Kilimanjaro. Do you know what? I've just been away for a retreat, and Kilimanjaro, the hotel that we were there for, I think either before or after we were training, we actually stayed in the same hotel for the Ahatic retreat, which was really cool and stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, but yeah, I've done a lot of things. But again, I'm a lot older. I'm 52. I know I don't look it, but I'm a lot old. I sound it though, flaming neck and stuff. I do sound it and stuff. Like sometimes I like, you know, like we are just talking about something just now, and I literally just rolled my eyes, and Rochelle was like, "What?" And it's just my dad used to say something amazing, bless his soul. He used to say that if you live long enough you'll see things, and he's so true. It's like the more you live, the more you just see things and look at things from a completely different dimension. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about you interviewing me. Talk to
Yeah,
me.
we are. Okay, so we've called this Can ADHD be treated? Again, quite a controversial topic. We toyed with using the word cured, but we thought that might be a little bit too controversial.
Yeah.
So we know that at the moment there is quite I'd probably call it a epidemic.
Yes.
Didn't
Pandemic. Oh,
know people who didn't know they had ADHD getting diagnosed with ADHD. And so I've had like family members, grown family members finding out, and it's quite like it's I think when they find out they've got it, it's something that you've always thought, oh, there's something not quite right with me. Why
right.
am I to these people? Why am I struggling with X, Y, and Z? Why can't I just do these things that I know I need to do? And then when they get this diagnosis, there's then this feeling of, and this is what they've explained to me, this feeling of like feeling relieved, but feeling really sad for the teenage version of themselves that was really struggling in this time,
Yeah.
or the childhood version of themselves. And now a lot of children are getting diagnosed with ADHD, and there's a massive waiting list for people to get the children diagnosed. And I've got friends who've got kids that have been diagnosed with ADHD, and they're going on to medication, and the medication is treating some problems, but then causing a whole load of other problems. And I saw that you did a post the other day, and you was talking about how you was treating someone with the pranic healing that you do, who had ADHD, a child, I believe. And
Yeah.
this is what sparked me into thinking this would be a great topic for us to talk about. So I'd love to hear more about that. And I just need to go and open my door because my sister's arrived, but I will be listening to you.
Is that Chloe?
It is, yes. So
Hi,
off you go
Chloe.
talking to us about ADHD and pranic healing?
ADHD. So first and foremost, I want to talk about a bit about pranic healing, because what tends to happen is, I'll talk and talk and talk, and people go, yeah, but how does pranic healing work? What is it? So pretty much, pranic healing is based on the principle that the body can heal itself, and that with the movement of energy, the body can heal itself. And it's an evolved system. It is a complementary therapy. So as a pranic therapist or pranic healer, same thing, but we'll never turn around to you and say, don't go and see the doctor. We always say, go and see the doctor, make sure you get your test, get your diagnosis and everything else. But it's based on the fact that the body has an accelerated ability to heal itself, and it can be used as a preventative or restorative treatment for physical or psychological conditions. We use energy, so we're taught how to direct energy into whatever needs to be worked on. We also base it on the energy centers or the chakras that you need, whilst in the basic level, most people believe there's 7 chakras. There's actually more. So we've got more energy centers to work on to be able to help you. So now that I've told you that, and you've got that bit of information, now I'm going to talk to you about the client that I have, and I have several clients, bless them. So also pranic therapy or pranic healing, anybody can do it. So if you want to go and learn it, let me know. I'll send you the details. But it can be done remotely or in person. A lot of my clients are remote because it's easier. And also I have clients around the world. So I have a client at the moment in the US, and his mum is also a client as well. But he's a teenager, goes to school, and he's so quiet because he feels so intimidated by other people in the school. He feels he's always forgetting stuff. He's also quite rowdy at the wrong times and everything else. So the school are always sort of like messaging the mom every single day and going, this is wrong with your child, and this is wrong with your child, and this is wrong with your child. And it's awful because as a mom, you feel like you're failing, or as a parent, you feel like you're failing. And then she's got her job to do as well. And it's almost like it's that whole thing where she's caught between a rock and a hard place, trying to navigate her child, but her job as well. And even if she's not happy at work, she can't really do much about it because she's getting calls telling her about how disruptive her child is and everything else. And then also when he's injuring himself, if he injures himself, he's not healing quickly enough. So everything's just taking a lot longer. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So sorry, just so yeah, so it's almost like it's I feel bad for her. So what we ended up doing was what we ended up doing was, sorry, I'm just sharing this onto Facebook because I just realized we're not on Facebook. So what we ended up doing was speaking to the child and also getting to understand from their perspective what's happening, what's going on. And then luckily, Master Chokok Sui, who invented modern pranic healing, has provided us with protocols to be able to help a lot of these ailments. So we worked on him and started sort of like just applying the protocol. And what the results that have come through have just been incredible. So we did the first one where it was just him and I on video. And then because of the zone difference, so it's about 11 hours difference in the summer and 12 hours in the winter. So sometimes we'll do it when he's asleep, but the phone calls from the school have stopped, which is just incredible. Yeah, incredible. The phone calls from the schools have stopped. He's not doing. He's a lot calmer in his own words, and he doesn't say much, but when he seems to be a lot more relaxed around me, which is a really good thing about kids and stuff. It's like when we speak, you give them that reassurance that you are who you say you are, and that you can be trusted. But yeah, so he's pretty much just been he's really improved in about 2 weeks. The phone calls have stopped. His mum's been like, when's the penny gonna drop? Because because they've stopped, and she's like, but how can they just stop like that? And it's like, well, it's working. We're moving the energy around. He's not as hyper. And he recently, he's into sport, and he recently hurt himself. And his mum said to me, she goes, he's hurt himself, but he's healing really quickly. I went, yeah, because the healing's also affecting that as well. Like, it's making things better. So even though he injured himself, where he would normally take time out, he's back doing what he needs to do, exercising and everything else. But in his words, he said, I'm a lot calmer. He says, I'm definitely a lot calmer. Like, I can feel it. I'm more focused, he said. He goes, I'm actually in class, and I'm actually listening to, and I can hear what the teacher's saying. So one of his other things was that it goes, as the day goes on, he said, towards the end of the day, he goes, that's when my attention drifts away. But as a kid, even it was me, if I go to a conference, my attention would drift after a while.
Yeah.
So we're just working on that, not to turn him into a superhuman, but just continue the treatment so that that disruptive element of ADHD is managed and what have you. So that, because it's not just about being labeled ADHD, and I know some people really thrive on having the label, and that's fine. We're not trying to take the label away, but a lot of people feel the pain and the anxiety and the stress. But it's not just on the person that has it; it's also the family, because as a family, you have to adjust to those behaviors or those tendencies and stuff,
Yeah.
and they can't help it. It's not like they do it on purpose, but it can come across quite frustrating for family members.
Yeah, and I was talking to you earlier about how I've got a friend who's got a child who's on medication for ADHD because he wasn't able to sit still and concentrate at school, and sounds much younger, but sounds very similar to what you're describing with this boy, where it's constantly causing disruptions because in class you're expected to behave a certain way, you're expected to sit still and to listen and to do what you're told. And often for children with this type of ADHD, when they find it very difficult to do that. So he's now on medication, but the impact of that medication is that he's calm and doing brilliantly at school all day, but then come the evening when the medication starts to wear off, he's then got too much energy and he can't get to sleep, and he is and he's not hungry during the day, so he's losing lots of weight, but then at night time he becomes quite hungry. So the medication is having a positive impact on some of the symptoms, but it's having a negative impact in other areas of his life. So from what you're describing, what you're able to do through the Pranic Healing, whether it's alongside the medicine or instead of the medicine, you're able to provide them to help them calm down throughout the day, sleep better, and have an overall better quality of life for both the child and the parent.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. And here's the thing, we will, as pranic therapists, we will never say, it's a complementary therapy, right? So we'll never say, don't take the medication and stuff. We encourage you to see doctors. We always say, take, medical advice. But what we know is that, the body can heal. And I'm not the first person to have used Pranic Healing on a client. Tony Robbins' healer, Master Stephen Coe, he's openly said his daughter was diagnosed with ADHD, and he used the same protocol, and she's both his daughters have just graduated. What is it called? I can't say it, but the American have like, is it something cum laude or something, like literally really high levels at university and stuff, but they've both graduated with that. And I was talking to someone recently about their child and their studies and ADHD and stuff, and a lot of kids struggle to pass exams during ADHD and everything else. It can help, and I understand as well that I think sometimes the anchor onto something, like, who are you without that illness or without that diagnosis. I think some people worry about that being taken away because it almost takes away the significance of it. It doesn't. It's just taking away the pain that brings, you know. And when I see, and here's the thing as well, it's like children will be children. So children in general are forgetful, are a bit scatty and stuff. Like kids are kids, but when it gets to the extreme where it's causing distress to the child and the family, I mean, you don't want to know that your teachers are sending a message to your mom every day going so. So you don't, that itself
And
just.
often the children, like I've seen it, there's one person who I went to school with and I follow her on Facebook, and she's quite vulnerable on there about her little girl who's got ADHD. And the little girl goes to school in the morning and she's like, Mummy, I want to be really good today. I'm going to be really well behaved. I'm going to listen to my teacher and do what they ask. And then at dinner time, she's getting a phone call. The mum's getting a phone call and she's having to go and pick this child up because the child's not been doing what the school expects them to do, and the child's heartbroken because they went into this day with the best intention and they're not purposefully being naughty. It's they're not able to control those behaviors that they're displaying, and it's so sad for both the parent and the child, because the child wants to go to school, the child wants to be seen as good and wants to be seen as achieving the things that children are expected to achieve.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking, and it's also what those kids then carry on with their future life moving forward. That they're bad kids, that they're kids that can't do it, and that's not the case. And that's what, you know, my current client is just he's smiling again. You know, and it's only been like 2-3 weeks of treatments, and we don't do treatments every day. It's one treatment on, one treatment off at the moment. But yeah, the results are just amazing.
I think for me, even if you don't believe, and like obviously with Pranic Healing, it's something that you can't physically see. So there'll be a lot of people who don't believe that it works. But I just think even if you don't believe in it, like surely it's worth trying. If your child, or if you're you're suffering, you'll try anything to help them to get better and to live a better quality life. What do you say to people who don't believe in pranic healing and other forms of energy healing?
Listen. So I listen, I've got a story here. And I think I've told the story before, but listen, I'll keep on telling the story. When I went to Cameroon to go and meet my oracle, this was the beginning of my journey, and my mom was really ill, really ill. My mom is a devout Christian, and you know, my mom was so ill. I thought, this is it. I thought, you know, there's no way. And this was before I knew about pranic healing, by the way. But one of the things that I'm grateful for is I used to heal like I was healing using pranic healing, but I didn't know what pranic healing was. So when I eventually started taking pranic healing, I thought, oh my God, I've been doing it this way. I just didn't know why I was doing it. And I didn't know the spiritual hygiene levels behind it. And I remember saying to my mom, I was like, Mom, let me heal you. And my mom was so dubious. My mom was like, not so sure. Why should I, just I'll speak to the doctor. But everything that was coming from the doctor wasn't helping. And the doctor had come to a point where they were like, I don't know what else to do for you, because you just, nothing's working. And I remember I started moving energy around, and my mum was also meant to travel with me as well, to see this lady that about my gift and everything else. My mum was like, I can't come because I'm so ill. Within 2 or 3 days, my mum was completely better.
Oh, wow.
It works. And that's with about an ounce of the knowledge that I have now. Now I've got a great teacher. I've been studying, nonstop for about 4 or 5 years. I've had about 8 years of just healing people, but I've had about 4 or 5 years of working under a teacher, Les Flitcroft, and his teacher, Master Chokutsui, where they've just literally guided us. And any question that I've had, and God, do I ask questions? Like I'm always emailing, doing it, and I've got this really complicated case and stuff, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like I'm one of those people where I'm like, I'd rather look like I'd rather look like I don't know it and get the right information than to just assume that I've got it. And my mum now, she's traveling at the moment, and I've just done a back protocol because her lower back's hurting. You know, my mum's gone from, and my mum's like my greatest cheerleader. Like she'll bring me clients. Like my mum's brought me doctors who are housebound because of mental issues and stuff. Like they feel depressed, and in Africa it's not something that you really talk about being depressed and being anxious and stuff and what have you. They look at you like, what's wrong with you? Just get up and do it. But little by little, you've got people who they don't know how it works, they don't understand it, they may not even believe in it, but they're getting better, and that's why they keep coming back.
Yeah,
you know, yeah.
Talking of backs, I know while you were on your retreat the other day, you had some healing on your lower back. How's it been since?
It's doing good. So Master Co, so Tony's healer, and he's also a really good friend. He's really a good friend. I adore him, bless him. And I kept on saying to him, I was like, my back hurts. And so I'll be really transparent and stuff. Is that I'm a big girl, so there's the possibility as well that the weight's not helped. But in the past 5 years, I've put on about 5 stone for various reasons, and the back started hurting before I put on the 5 stone. This is me being really transparent here. So whilst it could be the weight, but it started hurting before the weight happened, if that makes sense. So I've been doing everything. I've like I've stopped sugar, even though I did have sugar at the retreat. But my addiction, I've healed myself, and also my teacher's done some healing for me as well. So my addiction to sugar, I'm not addicted to sugar anymore. So I can literally go for months and just not have sugar, which is amazing. Or I can have 1 bar of chocolate and that's enough, which is I've never been able to do that. And stuff. So that's made a huge amount of difference. But still, the back was still hurting. So I kept on saying to Master Co when I saw him, and bearing in mind, you've got about 300 people who want to speak to him. So every time I walk past, I was like, can you please just look at my back? And the good thing about Pranic Healing is I don't need to be in front of him for him to look at my back and stuff. So I was like, I said, I know you're busy. Just in the morning when you wake up, just check my back, please. Just look at my back. You know, and he's also clairvoyant as well, so he can see he can do all these things, and so he's amazing. So eventually, he was like, yeah, he goes, yeah, I'll do it. But I knew that he's busy, and I was like, if I keep on repeating it, it'll stick in his mind. So eventually, as I was saying goodbye to him, I said, don't forget to look at my back. You know, I said, on the plane, whatever you need to do, just look at my back. And he went, what is with this back of yours? So he got me to stand in front of him, and there's pictures. I'm going to put pictures at the bottom of this when I can, but there's a picture, thanks to Nikki Thompson, who took pictures actually. There's pictures of him, and he's literally going in energetically, and he wasn't touching me, but I could feel, I was sweating, like he was moving things around and stuff. And apparently there was like a trap. There was a trap in there, and it was almost like a trapped nerve, and he was moving it around. And I was like, flaming neck. And I'm quite sensitive. If you do it properly to me, I can be quite sensitive, and he was moving it around and stuff. So it's released something, but he's asked me to keep on doing the healing. So
and this is the thing, it's not like you do one heal and that's it, you're cured forever. It's something that it can take several treatments to.
Everybody's different. So you can get some people who have a treatment, and in one treatment they're done. So I know someone who was addicted, had an addiction, and they had one session and they were fine.
Brilliant.
I know that for sure. But you've got some people. I've got a client at the moment who's got an addiction, and it's longer. It's taking longer as well. So everybody's different. Everybody's not the same. So just because you've got an ailment that you want looking at, and it takes you one session and you're fine, it could take somebody else 3 sessions. It varies.
So that's interesting, because I'm thinking healing, I'm thinking I've got I've got a sore throat, I've got stomach ache, I've got some form of illness that you're going to heal. But actually, like, while I know addiction is an illness, but I'd never thought of it as being something that you'd go to a pranic healer for healing with.
Yeah, and again, that's why, I've not done a very good job of promoting it, but I've got some incredible results. You know what I mean? Like, some incredible results. And from, like, we've got someone who got committed to a psychiatric unit indefinitely, and within 6 treatments they were out. So that's 2 weeks, and they were out. They were out talking to me and stuff, but they literally locked him up and thrown the key away and said, "You're in for." We literally were not giving you a go home date, nothing at all. So we've got some really good results. There's people that I know that are also doing healing that are getting incredible results. To myself, what a lot of people don't know, that in 2022 I got diagnosed with what was it now, a blood clot in my lungs. And I was still quite early to pranic healing. And one of the good things is that sometimes as pranic healers we help each other out. And this lady said to me, "Oh, do you know what? I can do the healings for you." She's based in Australia, and she was doing my healings when I slept. And I got diagnosed in the December. By the October, I had a full all clear, complete all clear. The doctor was like, "You need to stay on your medication." And I was like, "But test me. If you can test me and there's an ounce of blood clot on there, I'll stay on the medication." They tested me, there was nothing.
Yeah.
And me being me, because I live on my own, and that's another thing as well. It's like I'm quite I do all the due diligence around my health, because I'm like, I live on my own. If anything happens to me, nobody's going to come and save me or help me out. So I'm like, I need to make sure that my health is okay. So I had about 5 different tests, and they all came back okay. So I've never been on the medication since, and I'm fine. There's none, but all that is down to pranic healing. And so a lot of people, I've got in my, a lot of people have some incredible stories about it. I mean, my teacher Les, it's not my story to tell, but he talks about it quite openly. He didn't believe in pranic healing. He was an engineer, very logically focused, and he damaged his arm to the point where they said you couldn't use the arm. Like, the arm was useless. They couldn't use it. And a friend recommended that he go and see Master Cho, who at the time was was in his body. And when Les went to see him, Les didn't believe in it, but he managed to treat the hand to the point where the hands, now you could never tell that Les had anything wrong with his hand.
So the reason why I believe in energy healing, my uncle trained in Reiki, and I know we've talked about it before. You said pranic healing's like Reiki healing on speed.
Yes.
So my uncle trained in Reiki, and I had like a knot in my neck, and it was like really, really just bothering me, like just causing me pain. And I can remember him putting his hands, like not touching me, but putting it like as far away. And I can just remember feeling it pop. And it was just like, wow, this is real. Like, before that, I don't think I would have believed that it was something that could actually happen. And then another experience I've got with Reiki healing, it was actually, so I was doing some work with an energy healer. But she used to practice Reiki, but she doesn't do it as much anymore. But I was having a session with her, and so this was this was before I knew you, obviously, Victoria, otherwise you for my healing. But I'd got, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like where the back of your heel, like the tendon or something, and it's really tight, and it was so painful, and I had it for ages. And my friend was telling me to like roll something on it like every day to like stretch it out, and it'd gradually get better. So I was trying that, and it wasn't working. And she came and she did similar to what my uncle did, and it was better instantly. So now whenever whenever someone has that injury, I'm like, you need to get some energy healing on it, because it just works instantly. And I never had that. That was at least 3 years ago, I would say, and I've never had any any pain with it since, after having months and months of pain.
Yeah, you know what? And here's the thing and stuff. I mean, the difference between pranic healing and the rest other energy healing modalities is that pranic healing is a lifestyle. So I was saying to you last night, I was like, I had to do my practice. The great thing about is that all the pranic healers, when we are encouraged to live a certain way, that can enhance the energy as we and also the work that we do. Like we are told, and we get held accountable a lot. Like in the morning I do in the morning I get up, I do my meditation, I do my practice, I have to do exercise, I do my meditation. There's a lot of stuff that we do to get us ready to be good healers or therapists and stuff. It's not just oh, by the way, I'm a pranic therapist, let me do the work. No, we have so many things that we have to make sure that we look after ourselves. So a lot of the time and stuff, it's like, can you see me?
Yeah.
You were so still, it looks as if you'd frozen.
No, I was just engrossed in what you were saying.
What I'm saying. So yes, so I remember when I first started going into the healing world, I remember there were people that had come to me and stuff, and you could tell that they were not spiritually hygiene focused. So they were either depressed or anxious, so there was something that was happening in their life or that they hadn't treated, but they was trying to come and sort of like either heal someone else. And I remember saying, I can't let that person heal me, but I didn't know why. It's only when I studied pranic healing I was like, oh my god, yeah, like if you're going, if you're feeling down, if you're there's certain elements where they go, if you're feeling like this, you shouldn't be treating somebody else, because there's the risk of contamination. So there's all these things that you have to be really careful about. So when we talk about pranic healing, yes, it's a powerful treatment that is helping children with ADHD, for example, completely transform their lives and fit in. And when I say fit in, it's like they're fitting with all their gifts and stuff, but they're not being made to feel as if they're inadequate, but being able to do all of that. But we can't do it unless we look after ourselves. So it's like the meditations, we meditate a minimum of 4 times a week and stuff. And they're not long meditations, but we have to do it because it helps us be better healers. We're expected to study a certain amount every year, and we get checked on it. It's not like it's not like, oh yeah, nah.
So it's quite regulated. It's not just like people off doing the whole own thing.
100%, and which is why we don't talk about, we don't teach it, because it's not ours to teach. But we are expected to follow the rules of master. And it's to keep people safe as well. It's like a lot of the times I see people go and do some incredible sort of like spiritual work, and then they come back after a week and start teaching it, and it's like, it's like there's lost in translation, obviously, you know what I mean? There's lost in translation, and so you have to be really careful. So pranic healing, I would definitely say, is definitely worth it. It is treating some incredible ailments. We had Shelley Shulman, that a lot of people maybe on my Facebook and Instagram page will know. So Shelley came to me a while back after a really difficult episode in her life, and we did some cord cutting, which was amazing. And again, that allowed
part of your pranic healing as well, or is that something?
Yeah, it's part of that. So we can cut cords and stuff, but again, that releases you from feeling trapped in a situation that you were in. But it allowed her to move forward with her business, and she's glowing, you know what I mean? And then a few months ago, she had she'd been to doctors and there was all sorts going on, but there was pain in her legs and everything. She probably tells this story a lot better. There is a testimonial. I'm going to pin it into my Instagram stories after this. And after one treatment, she was better. And up until she even went on holiday and came back and went, the pain's not come back. I'm like, that's pranic healing. Yeah. Didn't see her once. She was at home. I was here. And I think, I don't know, did I do it in person? I think we met up and I did it and stuff. But the other stuff was being done remotely. But majority of people do it remotely because what's the point of spending time trying to travel and get to somewhere when it can be done? You know, people go, oh, but you know, is it more powerful in person? No, it's not. And stuff. And when we do when we do the treatment, what do? We just do it online. We do it Zoom, and you know, do the work and stuff. And
and that was actually one of my, because I wanted my dad to see you, and one of the things he couldn't get his head around was how to do that on Zoom. He was like, "Yeah, I'm open to it, but I don't believe that she can do it on Zoom. Like, I need to be there in person for it to work."
For it to work, I know it's so funny and stuff. It's like, but you know what? We also don't force people on it either.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's so many more pranic therapists out there. I promise you, there's loads online, that you can look for and stuff. But I think
she's allowed to say that, but I'm allowed to say it.
What?
I said you're the best, but I don't think you're allowed to say
Oh,
that.
bless your sweetheart. I'm just a vessel. I'm just a vessel. But you know what though? It's like I think when people know, they know. Like, you know, I've had some queries recently about it, and I think the ADHD conversation has really been heightened because people are going, will it work for my child? Will it work? So more people are sort of like having that conversation. But also when people work with me on the other side of my business, where you know, I'm working with people who are successful but don't feel it. So they appear to be successful, but they don't feel it deep inside. They feel empty. When I work with those people, their families end up becoming my clients as well. And it's one of the great things that Pranic Healing does that people just don't realize. It brings families back together. You know, I've got one client who's in Canada, bless him. And when he came to me, I think he came to me before I started Pranic Healing, but then we started, it's almost like things started around the same time. But his children, he was so disconnected from his children. He was so disconnected from different elements in his life, his business and everything else. And we started working on his children. And you know what? His children now, like, they just confide in him about everything. Like, they're so much closer. He's been able to walk away from a relationship with grace and everything else and stuff. And Pranic Healing had a part to play in some of that. Not all of it, but some of it. And I think when people watch, and that's why visibility is really important. Going back to your LinkedIn challenge as well, is that the more you talk about this stuff, the more people will go, oh my God, I really want to have a look at that. I want to try it out. I want to see if it works. Again, not everybody is the same. So where something that could sound the same could take somebody a week, one session to get better, it could take somebody longer. But I always say to this, so this is a really good example. Somebody came to me with stress and anxiety once. They were like, I'm so stressed, I'm so anxious, actually, and they were also depressed. And they said, how long is it going to take me to get better? And I said, how long have you been feeling anxious, stressed, and depressed? And they said, decades. And I said, right. I said, so can you see how unreasonably is to ask me that question? Because if it's taking you decades, when you know that it's taking you decades to be feeling like this, and you've taken this moment to approach me, I can't give you a timeline by which to get better. However, if we have one session, how about you let me know how you feel? You know, and it's one of the reasons why we don't, you know, we're really strict about how many we sell and stuff moving forward. So they had one session, like, oh my God. And then she bought three and stuff. And then we finished the three, and then we reviewed ourselves. She was so much more better. She was doing things that she never thought had. She had more headspace. She could focus on her job. She was getting better results. And then she started coming for top ups. So everybody has their own bespoke treatment plan. And it's based on the results that you get. It's that simple.
So obviously you've got the Pranic Healing, which there are lots of Pranic healers. You're also an oracle, and you've also got
African
other
oracle, not an oracle.
Not just any oracle.
Not just not
so what's the, you tell me, what is the
there.
difference between being an African oracle and being an oracle?
Well, all I know is that I was anointed under the mountains of West Africa. and that's what was given to me. It's not like I chose the name. That was the name that was given to me. I can't speak for an oracle because I don't know what they do or how it works and stuff. I just know that that's what I was anointed as. And for me, that's embodying everything that my natural gifts, which is the healing aspect and also the seeing aspect. So my levels of intuition is quite high, especially with other people. my levels of intuition are quite high, and also my healing as well. So that's all I can say. I can't speak for anybody else because I don't know what an oracle does, and that's not my space to really speak to.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So what I was going to ask you, I know you did quite a controversial post on Facebook, and it was about Christianity and how like some Christians and some other religions as well don't believe that they should be, or they're skeptical of the healing. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? It's really funny. Like, you'll get people. So, by the way, I do see you if you're lurking around my posts and stuff, but you get people who, you know, I know a lot of Christians. I'm a Christian, and I know there's people that probably question my Christianity and stuff because I'm a healer as well. But one of the greatest moments was when my gift first came out before Pranic Healing. And I didn't know what that would mean to the church because I've had a couple of friends say to me, well, what does that mean for your Christianity? I was like, I don't think it means anything. But you hear things from people and you go, oh, do you know what? I better go check. So I went to my priest and I remember thinking, oh my God, he's going to chuck me out of the church. And at the time I was in the choir. I don't know what's going on here. So yeah, so at the time I was like I was in the choir, I was studying laymanship and stuff. So there's like loads of things going. There was like loads of things going on, and I was like, oh, you know, and I was like, oh, maybe he'll. Sorry. Oh, somebody's looking for us on somebody's looking for us on Instagram. It's all right. Don't worry. It's all right, Amani. She's a pranic healer. She's fine. But yeah, so I was like, I'm so involved in the church. What if this isn't acceptable? And the day I actually decided to go and speak to the vicar, it was like a half eight at the time. It used to be like a 8:30 service in the morning, and it was like a 30-minute service. So there's about 5-6 people in the service.
And was this in London?
In London, and I was terrified. I was like, he's going to chuck me out of the church. And as he started reading the gospel, it talked about if you have a gift, you need to share it. You need to share it with the world, which was crazy. And then I told him afterwards, and I went, this is what's going on. I'm getting visions and I can heal people. What does that mean? And he was so excited. And he said, it's been going on in the Bible for years. He goes, the difference is that the world today try and segregate it and try and make it into something that it's not. It goes, as long as you're using your gifts for good, that's all that matters. And that's always stayed with me because, and I was like, what? Because I was ready to fight, right? I was like, you can't get rid of me. But yeah, so I know that there's people that I guess judge, and we all judged, which is fair enough. But also I've had people come to me really needing help, but they've gone, but we need to speak to the priest first. And I'm like, please do. I'll never say to you don't, because if I say to you don't, then what does that mean to me? Does that make sense? So I'm like, please do, because I still speak to my vicar. Like, if I've got a problem, I still go and speak to my vicar. I still want to have a conversation with my vicar. So it's like, please do. And you know what? The ones that did go and speak to their vicars eventually came back and spoke to me. Not because the vicars didn't do the job, but because they're like, do you know what? Yeah, we've got to a point now where we need more and stuff. So it's like, and do you know what the great thing is? I was doing some healing the night before last, and as I was sat there, I did a video about it. I was like, oh my God, when I'm doing my healing, I'm praying for these people because I know how much pain they're going through. It's not just about me waving my hands or waving my crystal. It's like it's so much more deeper, because I pray to God that you get better. I pray to God that you can get out of bed, that you can go to school and not feel less than. I would pray to God that whatever surgery that you had that didn't go well, that we can help you to at least find some quality of life, that you can work in your business with a clearer mind. And you know what I mean? Like, there's all these things that I pray for when I'm doing the healing as well. It's not just about you getting better. It's not just about you get better so that I can talk about Pranic Healing more. It's like it's such a wonderful experience, but it's an honor as well. It's an honor that a client can say to me, my dad's in ICU, and you're the only person I know can help him. And Pranic Healing can get somebody who the doctors are like, we're done. The doctors are like, this is it. Like, you're coming to say goodbye to your dad. And you get a message from your client saying, whatever happens, can you just pray that he has an easy release? And I'm sat in a retreat, still healing away. And then you get a message the next day going, I don't know what you did, but he's talking and he's cracking jokes. And it's just like, I don't think I do the work justice, because it's such incredible results from Pranic Healing. And it's just an honor.
Yeah, that's amazing. So we've talked a lot about how you don't have to be in the room with someone to heal them. You can do it by whether it's over a call like what we're doing now, or you can do it without even while the person's sleeping, without even having that contact where they can hear you or anything like that. But I know that you've got an in-person day coming up soon where people can actually get to be around you. And before you say anything about it, like, I've been with you so many times, and we'll just be walking down the street, or we'll just be sat in a bar, and people literally, they come up to you and they touch you, they compliment you on you, like the way that you look, and they're like, they need to know more about you. Like, you're so like magnetic in real life, and I think people feel that energy when they're around you. So even though you can do what you can do without physically having to be in the same room as people, I think people just have a love for being around you. So I think that having that opportunity to come and spend the day with you is going to be amazing.
Thank you. Listen, I'm just a vessel, right? This is just a body and stuff. Like, I know people get I know people get seduced by all of this and stuff, but it's just a body and stuff. And and I'm here to do God's work. That's how I see it. Oh, hi, Healing Our Matriarchy. Thanks for letting us know that. And Amani, you found us. So the magic of healing is powerful and so much needed. Such needed conversations. I work with many people with ADHD by helping them with generational healing, and they find more balance within. Amazing. Love that. I mean, do you know what? Stuff it's like, yes, I love I love a good hairstyle. Let's just put that out there. Can I just say, did you hear what my mum called me yesterday? My mum called me one of these is it guards at the palace and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
She was like, that's what you look like. I was like, cheap. Yeah. And I was wearing red and black yesterday, so that didn't help. Yeah, so that does happen. I do get moved towards quite a lot. So here's the thing. My last in-person event happened about 6 years ago, and it was really powerful. And at the time, it was mainly for people to come in and just release what was holding them back. I cooked for them. I was gifted a house, a beautiful house to do it in. And we had some incredible human beings there. We had footballers, journalists. I think we had some actors. We had some bank vice presidents in there. Like, it was just incredible. It was an amazing space. I think it was about 10 people. And I always vowed that I would do something again at a later date. However, I ended up going to the States shortly afterwards, about 2 or 3 months afterwards. And when I came back, we went into lockdown. So I haven't done one since. And I really wanted to create a space that was intentional, but also there was a reason for it. So it wasn't just like I wanted to do a live event. I wanted to do a live event that had purpose. So for the past 2 or 3 years, I've been running online programs around using your intuition, but also finding your purpose and finding the purpose of your business. A lot of people don't know what their purpose is. And as a result, and when I talk about purpose, it's understanding why you are on this earth. So you need to know why you're here so that you can serve the world. When you're in service, then you live with pure authenticity, even when things are not going your way. So I'm a really good example of this, is that I have been put through the ringer in life in the last, I would say, 8 to 10 years. And the only thing that has kept me sane and kept me on a path is knowing why I'm here. Nothing has changed. Maybe my messaging has changed, maybe how I present stuff or the packaging, but knowing my purpose has allowed me to manifest some incredible opportunities and manifest some incredible people in my life. Now, but also it's also allowed me to sieve out people that aren't needed in my life as well. Can I just say that? So when the more we started realizing that we could, when I say me, God, sort of like helping people find a purpose, it's been helping people find a purpose within minutes. No questions asked, just being able to say, this is why you're here. But rather than just doing that, it's also about getting them to receive the purpose. So everybody can receive a purpose, but then what do you do with it? So then I started sort of like saying, okay, we need to get you to receive the purpose. So if you're not ready to receive because there's other emotional and physical ailments, then we need to work on you with Pranic Healing, for example, to remove what's blocking you so that you can really sort of like start to receive your purpose. Go, oh my God. And then you embody it. So when people see me and they're attracted to me, they're attracted to my purpose. They're not attracted to me. They're attracted to my purpose because they know they can feel it. They feel that she's here for a reason. And we can kind of feel that. That's what they're attracted to. So the embodiment is that. And then we go into the implementation. That isn't being done anywhere else, because I know people who go and try and look for their purpose, but they get asked so many questions, and then 6 months down the line go, well, it could be this or it could be that. When I give you a purpose, I don't question it. I go, this is your purpose. And I get people go, I'm not sure. And then they go, oh my God. And as soon as they embody, they start getting more contracts. I've just had somebody who's just, oh my God, I said I'd message her. Oh my God, I need to message her. She's just landed the most incredible contract and stuff of her life. I've had people who've had the most successful months of their life financially, either at work or in business. When you know why you're here, it completely changes the trajectory of who you are and also where you're going. So I've been doing that online for about 2 or 3 years now, and I've been getting incredible results. One of my most successful clients signed a contract that up until today is a secret. She can't even release it. I've got another client who signed a contract worth multi-millions because they knew what the purpose was theirs, the purpose which was theirs, and also their business purpose. But here's another thing. When you start leaning into your purpose, then your intuition is heightened. So then you can start to manifest what's really yours, and you can start to create the success that you need. So I'm taking that on the road. Is that simple? Rather than spending, 90 minutes with you, pretty much for the same investment, I'm saying, come onto the road. Let's spend a day together. So it's a really intimate setting. There'll be no more than 20 people there. In that space, everybody will get their purpose. Everybody will get their purpose, their business purpose. They'll get to understand what's holding them back. We will get rid of what's holding them back. We'll also do some really powerful meditations. And then it's also an opportunity to network as well. And everybody who joins this cohort will also be invited to spend an extra 6 weeks with me, so that If they have any other questions about the purpose and they're struggling to embed the purpose, then that's where they're going to come in and spend those 6 weeks with me. And that will be remote and stuff. And again, we've generated some incredible results from that. I'm really excited about it.
Sounds amazing.
It is amazing. Do you know what? I'm proud of it because it's taken a long time to just think, if I went on the road, what would I put? What would I give? And I want people to leave there with absolute clarity. One of the things that people come with me is that nobody ever leaves me with questions. Nobody ever leaves me going, so what about this? Because the oracle just comes through and gives them what they need. Like, you get your questions and all the questions are answered, and people come to me with some of the most complex of questions, and when they leave they go, oh, is that it? So, oh my god, that doesn't even matter anymore, and I can get on with my life, and relationships change. And people have moved after some of my sessions. People have changed their lives. People have gone back and just been more instrumental in the areas of their life that where they felt not seen or insignificant and everything else. So it's an incredible it's an incredible unit, and I'm really looking forward to it. So
We've talked a lot about how, like, so I do LinkedIn training, and like, people come to me because they're like, oh, there's something missing, and I think that thing that's missing is that I need to start getting visible on LinkedIn. They'll go to other people who do sales, and they'll be like, the thing that's missing is that I'm rubbish at sales and I need that help. And they're looking at all these external things, these courses, and I'm not saying don't do them, because like I love learning. I think knowledge is really powerful, but actually a lot of the time when people are looking for what's missing, I think the first place that they need to come is to you, because you'll be able to help them solve that. And then if sales training is something that they need to then go and do off the back of it, you'll be able to guide them and make sure that they're doing it purposefully rather than just doing it because they're like, it's the latest fad.
Yeah, 100%. People, and it's that whole thing where there's two elements to that. There's the fact that people panic. So people panic and then they buy what they think they need because of the noise around them, rather than being in conviction of who they truly are. But equally, you get people who look successful, they appear successful, they're not. They are literally all over the place behind the scenes, and then what's happening is they're changing their mind left, right, and center about what they need to work on, and they're staying awake at night because they're scared they're going to lose what they've achieved. But equally, you've got the person who doesn't know where to start and thinking, oh my god, I need to do one course, I need to do the next course, If you look at my trajectory, the way I've worked, I can tell you that I have worked with no more than 5 people in the online space in the last 5 years. I haven't worked with more people than that. I'm very particular, and it's not because the other people aren't selling stuff that isn't worthwhile, but I'm like, what is it that is instrumental to my purpose? I always go back to my purpose. Like, how does this align with my purpose? How does this help? And then I can go from there. So there's other stuff that looks really amazing, like this, like the Ideas Fest that's on at the moment. And I'm like, it doesn't align. It's not aligned with my purpose. It looks amazing, but it doesn't align with my purpose. So it's like, I'm not going to go. And maybe one day I'll go, now I can see the link, I'll go. But I don't spend places unless I really, really, really have to. Even when, I posted the other day that, I used to go to like the opening of an envelope. I didn't go unless I felt like it would align with my purpose. And some did more than others. So I was like, okay, so I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to do that anymore. But I can focus here. Or actually, the people that I see here are the same people that I see there. So I could just go to this one. So it's about saving energy as well. It's about saving energy and being true to who you are, and also being your authentic self and not betraying yourself by behaviors that you manifest out of lack of integrity. Because when you're not in purpose, at some point you are going to sort of like lose your integrity, because you can't help it, because you panic, because you don't know, because you're just trying to figure out a way to survive. And I know a lot of people talk about your nervous system and stuff, but your central nervous system does really suffer from that. And again, that's something that Pranic Healing looks at as well. So just incredible.
Yeah, your day sounds incredible, and like that links really well between like your the healing that you do, but also the work you do with purpose and intuition, and making sure people are living their truth rather than just doing what society tells us to do, basically. I was just thinking, have you ever worked with anyone who's got like Alzheimer's or dementia?
Not yet. And do you know what kills me is do you know what kills me is that my dad died without me knowing I was a healer. That
No.
kills me. Yeah.
And did he have Alzheimer's?
He did. He had dementia. But yeah, but do you know what? I can't believe that's caught me. But yeah, no, I haven't. Not yet. I'm sure
So
they'll come.
the reason why I asked is because, like, so it's not something, thankfully, that's impacted my family, but one of my friends, actually, like her, it was her stepdad. He had dementia and passed away from it, and she's got a podcast about it, and I think she'd be a really good connection. I need to introduce you because I feel like she'd be somebody good who could come to your day and enjoy it and learn from it as well.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So do you know what? And so here's the thing, right? It's like, yes, I can work with them and help them and stuff. But one thing, I'm working with a stroke victim at the moment who's paralyzed by stroke. So managed to get their blood pressure down. And this is a really complex one because they're not based here in the UK. But yeah, so I'm working on that at the moment as well. But with regard going back to dementia and Alzheimer's, the ones I remember sort of like when my dad was ill, it was making sure that everything around him was as familiar as possible, and also not interrupting him when he claimed he'd just been down the road to see a friend. When you know that's not happening, you go, "All right, however, yeah, they were fine and stuff." But and also music as well. If you want tips, music will always help them calm them down. Like music that they used to listen to and stuff would always calm them down and stuff. Like my dad used to love jazz music, and if I ever played jazz music and stuff like he'd be, or orchestral music, it'd be like, oh, like his heart, he'd just relax and just be in his element. And if I got a word wrong, he'd tell me off and stuff. And you look at him going, you didn't even know what you were doing 2 minutes ago, but you're telling me how to listen to music and stuff. So no, I've not had to deal with anybody or work with anyone yet with that ailment, but I know as time goes along and the more I talk about it, more people are coming in. Like I say, I've got a really serious case in my inbox at the moment that we're going to have to deal with and stuff. So I'm looking forward to having that conversation. But I get it. I get that people can be skeptic. I am skeptical. I get that people don't know about it, but that's my job. My job is to talk about it and get it out there. And I was calculating the other day, I think I've got about 17 or 18,000 connections online. And I'm like, if I can get this to all of those people to just see it, even if it's just 10%, then isn't that an amazing thing?
And this is it, and this is why I'm always teaching people about the power of visibility. Like the more people that know what you do, the more people you can help. If people don't know these incredible stories that you've shared today, then they're not gonna reach out to work with you. But once they start hearing things like what we've talked about today, like that's when more and more people start coming forward, don't they? So it's powerful, and I know you've got a lot of clients. You've got a lot of healing clients, but I know you're also open to taking on more clients.
I do. I have 3 spots at the moment. Might go down to 2. I've got 3 spots at the moment for what we're working on the healing side. So if you really want to have a conversation, drop me a message, and let's get you in. Let's get you fitted in. We normally get so many come through that it's making sure that we're managing and giving everybody the time, because these are one-on-one sessions as well. So it's like making sure that everybody gets the slot. So if you want to know more about pranic healing, if there's something, especially at the moment, we've been talking about ADHD, but it could be anything. It could be stress. It could be anxiety. It could be trauma, past trauma. It could be headaches, migraines. Like the list is just, high blood pressure.
I think it's asking if you've got a problem, if you've got an illness, if you don't even know what's wrong with you,
What
but
it is, yeah,
wrong, then they can
Just
come to you.
yeah, exactly. And stuff. It's like if it's physical or psychological, just drop us a message and stuff. And at least, what's the worst thing I can say? No, I can't help you. But the one thing I'll say about Pranic Healing and Master Chokok Sui is that he has. Nobody knows this. So when I was on my own, as in when I didn't know who to speak to about my healing gift, I used to think to myself, oh my god, I'm going to have to write a book. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to have to write a book. I'm going to have to go and do the research and everything else. When I heard that Master Chokok Sui had done everything, I was like, thank God, because there's no way I'd be able to anything half as much as what he's done. He has done an incredible job, and what he has done is he's provided a system where we have support. He's taught his students. He has a number of students, a very limited number, who provide us guidance. So mine's Les Flitcroft in the UK. He has researched everything. He's researched so much so that when you come to us and say, hey, if I look at it and go, okay, if I've never heard of it, like somebody came to me last week with something that I'd never heard of, I was like, okay, I know where to go. We have an email, we have a group of people that will pick up those responses and support us. So we're very lucky. We're so supported. Yeah. So, but thank you for
and then now you can pass that down to everybody else who needs healing.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. It's been fun. I've learned more things about you. Hopefully the audience have learned lots about like the power of pranic healing, and there's definitely things that you've mentioned today that like I didn't even realize that you could like heal addictions like that's and the ADHD until you started talking about it online a couple of days ago. That wasn't something that I would have even thought to send people to you for. So it's definitely interesting and giving people food for thought.
Yeah. Do you know what? So I'm grateful for when I first started business. I don't know how I ended up doing that, but one of the things that I got taught was that whenever you work with someone, make sure you get a testimonial. You know, obviously you don't force them, but it's like try and get a testimonial so that they can tell you about the experience and stuff. And it's not, and also the testimonial isn't about how amazing you were. It's about it's finding out how it's impacted them, you know. And if they turn around and say, well, not, I've had people who said to me, not on Pranic Healing, but I've had people say to me, do you know what? I've not really realized stuff yet. And it could be because life is busy and everything else. And then one day they go, oh my God, because of what you did, this is what's happening. You go, brilliant, write it down. Fantastic. So the testimonials have really helped. And I want to thank all of those people who've been generous enough to provide testimonials that we can share, and even just in conversations as well. And it's one of the reasons why I've stopped also putting people's names to things, because to be honest, truth is and stuff, it's like the names don't matter. You know what I mean? Like the names don't matter. It has happened. And even though we've got some videos of people, like there was one girl who just had tinnitus.
Yeah.
She had tinnitus, anxiety. She did a live video and stuff. Sarah, her name was, and stuff. And she literally, her treatment, I think we did one or two treatments and stuff, and she's fine, absolutely fine. And so anything, just let us know. My mom is the best. Can I just say my mom's my best customer, because my mom literally will sit there and go, my tooth's hurting, my back's hurting, my legs hurting. it's a, oh, you know, can you treat my diabetes? Can you do like literally? My mom is on form. Like if I was just sat there every day just doing this to my mom would be very happy. And so like, yeah.
How old is your mom?
My mom's 80.
No.
And can I just say this? She's 80, but you wouldn't believe it and stuff. Like my mom is, she'll deny this, but she's quite agile. But also her brain is like top. Like my mom still has businesses and like she still manages businesses. But one thing I will say as well is my mom in Cameroon, she tends to get malaria and fever and stuff. And we've got to the point where we've managed that and stuff, because there's mosquitoes there and stuff, and you know, it's that sort of environment. But I treat my mom, like, literally, and she's the most important person in my life and stuff. Like, I treat my mother, and she really does benefit from it. And for an 80-year-old, she's on it, and she'll do whatever I tell her to do. So, you know, there's other tips that we give from Pranic Healing as well and stuff. And I'll say to mom, you need to do this, you need to, and she'll do it. And I believe that's what's keeping her moving now and allowing her, like, she's on a trip at the moment. We've had a couple of bereavements in the family, so she's off to support our family somewhere else and stuff. But if it wasn't for Pranic Healing, she wouldn't be able to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I owe a lot to Pranic Healing, and when I talk about it, it's not just as a business, it's also because I know it's transformed my life, it's transforming other people's lives, and I want everybody else to be able to take advantage of it.
Amazing. Well,
Thanks,
that takes us like an hour and 10 minutes. We know
it's the longest one yet.
We know talk.
I know we'll chop these up, and then you'll be able to see it in clips as well. But thank you so much for those of you that came on. I know that there's loads of you that came on to. Oh, thank you. Healing Out Matriarchy says, loved listening. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll speak to you soon.
Bye.